Tony, you mentioned something about Brand Jordan and, I think the 40th year of...
Yeah, kind of closing out 2024, I started to see a lot of ads on Nike Jordan, Instagram, and realized, obviously I'm not 40, but realized this year will be the 40th anniversary of the release of the Jordan 1, quote unquote, in the sneaker community called the 85 Jordan. And I thought it would be something interesting for us to talk about because, not only is the brand legacy of Michael Jordan just like stamped in just sports history, culture, but obviously we have someone, on the mic, our brother Frank, who grew up in Chicago, grew up around it, and we could all kind of give our perspective on like how it was, in New York and Atlanta. But also, I just thought it was super important to talk about the importance, kind of like focus on the importance of storytelling.
Right.
They've sold this story to us for years, and several generations have bought into it. Even people who have never seen him play, maybe they watched on YouTube, still buy Jordans, which is interesting to me. So, like,
I think
go ahead.
That part right there is really like the most interesting thing to me, right? So like one, I just think it's an amazing case study of like really like catching lightning in a bottle with Jordan, the shoes taken off like they did, winning 6 championships, all that. But the fact that Jordan hasn't played since 2001 or 2, I think,
something like that.
I'll look it up.
So like over 20 years. They still been selling his shoes, bro. And selling them, and they re-releasing the same shit in different colorways, and they keep selling them.
Yeah,
like it's really kind of amazing. I don't know if I've ever seen anything like it before, but
I mean, it's like its own category at this point, right?
And now it's evolved to the point where Jordan is doing jerseys of like college teams, like I think Oklahoma, Michigan,
right.
UNC, they're all Jordan branded with the Jumpman on the instead of the Nike sign, right? So
right.
I just think like just Jordan and that brand, how it's grown over the last 40 years is amazing. I'll say just from growing up during that era, we were poor, so I mean I was wearing fake Jordans, right? That shit actually that should have given me psychological trauma to this day, right?
He's wearing Team Jordans.
Nah, bro, I was wearing the Payless Jordan. There was plastic. There was like $9.
You slide out over the concrete with them shits, right?
Bro, where you wear them shits for 3 weeks and then the motherfuckers bust open at the seams. So yeah, bro, I remember it was so crazy back in, I think that was like 90, 89, 90, like me and a couple other cats, we had the fake Jordans, right? This like 3rd grade. And I remember the kids who had the real Jordans, they was like, yo, y'all got to sit at that table. Y'all can't sit at our lunch table because y'all got fake Jordans. That shit fucked with me, bro.
Damn.
And then I remember like when I got into high school, dudes was getting Jordans taken off their feet.
That was happening everywhere. I remember that.
So, and it's so funny, like now as an adult and hearing you all say it, I thought that was just so Chicago. So the fact that it happened in other places, I mean, people have gotten killed for Jordans.
Jordans and starter jackets back in the days. Yeah.
I learned about that in an episode of Family Matters.
What?
No.
I do remember that.
Oh yeah.
That's how I learned about.
Right.
I mean, just to jump in, like, I grew up in like early 90s. I was a kid, but like I remember going to school and kids saying like, yo, you don't got Jordans. And my parents would be like, yo, we not spending that much money on sneakers. So I remember I didn't get my first pair until I was probably like 19. And I went to Niketown, RIP Niketown. Did the lineup, got like the 11s, the all white joints. And I was hyped,
I didn't get my first pair of Jordans till like 2017.
Damn.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, I mean, to your point, my parents wasn't paying for that, and I had older siblings who just wasn't wearing Jordans. They was wearing like, Sebagos and Adidas Stan Smiths and shit. So I just kind of wore what they wore. And it was just one of those things, you didn't wear shoes that could get you shot. So it just wasn't going to happen.
A safe
but
thing,
I wanted a pair, though. I'm not going to hold you.
So you remember that time we were walking down Nostrand Avenue and we saw all them boxes of baby Jordan?
Yeah.
And
I remember
think about
that.
the psychology of that, right? So
that was easily $2,000 a product right there.
Easily. So the psychology of that, and obviously we were in, an area that probably wasn't folks doing really well, right? But that mother or father bought that baby all them Jordans just to throw them out.
Yeah, we saw that.
It was probably about 9 boxes. I took a photo of it. I gotta find.
Yeah, it was like 12 plus boxes, like something like that, right? And it's funny, Frank. That area now is like a coffee shop now, right? So
yeah, man.
It's wild, man, just to see, to your point, like somebody literally had these Jordans for these kids, and I guess, I don't know if they threw them out because they was mad at them or whatever, but yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah. But while we figure out this technical situation, I always thought it was interesting because like I grew up learning about Jordans through I don't want to say culture, but through pop culture. So like
Seinfeld,
the Wayans brothers, Fresh Prince, Seinfeld. I didn't watch it growing up, but I know Martin had, there were all these shows.
Boy Meets World.
There were all these shows and all these things that we grew up around, that I grew up around, you grew up around, that like had Jordan like kind of meshed into it. And it was kind of crazy because like going back to kind of like what Frank was saying about catching lightning in a bottle, it was just like, I feel like there hasn't been someone, maybe Kanye West, you can argue, but someone who's been able to like integrate their marketing story not only to their like main base of fandom, but also, sell it to people who don't play sports, people who don't know shit about sports, all that. So, go ahead, Rose.
I mean, I didn't get my first pair of Jordans until about 98. And I just like, but back then though, the Nike line, like sneakers, was just awesome. Like there was so many great pairs.
My God,
we had Barkley, we had Penny Hardaway,
the
we
diversity in the
Deion
sneakers were
Sanders,
crazy. Yeah,
right. So like I think
Bo Jackson's,
right. So I think if you couldn't get a pair of Jordans, there was other varieties, and I feel like just to kind of fast forward that Nike, I feel like Jordan's success has helped Nike just become so lazy because there isn't another athletic shoe that even looks as sleek as
recording
Jordan's,
in progress.
As it doesn't look as sleek as Jordan's from the 90s. Right. So I mean, it's just it's almost like when I look at the Ralph Lauren brand, and it's just kind of going back to old designs that were just super successful.
Going in the archives.
And they were like American staples almost. So like Jordan is that American staple.
You know what's funny about what you just said? Like how it made Nike kind of lazy because of the success of Jordan.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the same thing is happening in the movie industry.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like there's a few new ideas, but like there's also like been that huge like Marvel kind of like was the thing. Like Marvel comic books, Batman, all that shit. They beat that like to death.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Because it was like the easiest money grab. And I think that made Hollywood kind of lazy.
Yeah.
And that's why you got so much of the same like stuff.
It's been blowback.
You get formulaic, and then I think, just to compare the sneaker industry to the movie industry, I think, that's where the opportunity lies, because you'll see independent production companies like A24, Blumhouse, to name a few, that are just like making these cool films a little bit more independent, maybe a little bit less money, but they're blowing up. Like Jordan Peele, I think, I don't know if he owns or works with Blumhouse a lot of stuff. And then you see that in the sneaker industry. We kind of said it, in pre-production. You look at Saucony, New Balance.
Yeah.
Solomon.
What's that brand that's come out that everybody is wearing now? Hoka?
Hoka, yeah.
Hoka.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got two of those.
Everywhere now.
And those are super, I'm running those.
Super comfortable.
They're super comfortable running shoe. So
me and Tony was talking about that.
Yeah. So I wonder how much, like, just from a running perspective, like that shoe, how much is taken from market share from Nike running?
That'd be interesting.
Yeah. Because I feel like almost like there's certain brands or like certain shoes, like things just go together. Like when I'm imagining this person knows, was it Hoka sneaker?
Yeah.
Right? Like it's a person that goes to Equinox, like a person with bread who like probably works in corporate America but goes to Equinox. They have a
Brooks Brothers shirt on, maybe
a Brooks Brothers shirt, or maybe a Patagonia vest or something like it's just a certain
or Vineyard Vines.
Right. Like I think it's just a certain look like that kind of goes with that. But just real quick though, with the Jordan, and I feel like just as I'm getting older, and it's like now I understand like when older people would talk about music, and you talk about like even. I don't even want to go there, but I'm gonna go there slightly, and we're not gonna go down this lane. But like you think about Puffy's success, right? He was taking records from the '80s and the '70s, the '70s, but it was new to me. Like I mean, I knew some of the records because of my dad was a DJ, but when he put his spin on it, and like that, I'm not gonna say it's lazy. But it's like I can see an older person saying, "Man, that shit's lazy, bro." Like we was jamming out to that,
right.
in 75, 77. So
Yeah. Oh, one thing I was just gonna add, and then
actually, like, hold on before you go. You know what has really made me feel old, bro? When I heard shit from like 99, 2002 being remixed for shit that's out
now.
Oh yeah,
right.
When I'm hearing stuff being remixed from like when I was in college or high school, and I'm hearing like shorties listen to it now, that's blown my mind, bro.
We was talking about.
I heard a track the other day that used that Kill Bill whistle.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, I heard that. I was like, yo, Kill Bill came out 20 years ago.
Damn, yeah.
It's wild.
Well, I keep saying, nothing's new under the sun, and a lot of times you go back and look at the old stuff to make something new.
And real creative still. That's the best.
It's all how you deliver it and how relevant it is that time. That's what makes it original, right? Yeah. So I don't know. I think also, just to circle back with Nike just got to get back to being Nike, right?
Well, I was just to jump in because you kind of made this point, Rose, but they are jumping into the archives this year. I think they realize how much market share they lost with people, and they are releasing a ton of stuff that, like, I think a lot of people who were into sneakers in the 90s and early 2000s that would love, but I think it'll, they're going back to their roots kind of.
Also, I think the biggest thing they forgot is that they think the apps is going to solve their problems, because they lean heavy into the app.
Oh, yeah.
Versus, like, most people bought a lot of Nikes from Foot Locker. They bought a lot of Nikes from local spots. Yeah. And they pulled back a lot from that retail shelving aspect.
You used to be able to just walk in and...
Yeah, and I think brands got to think about that. Like, if you're going to engage your audience, yes, you can't just rely on the apps. What is the app correlation, or what is the relationship with the app with your in real life experience? How do you marry those two?
Yeah, that's a good point. And another thing that I would say about Nike is if you think about the Nike athlete, right? Like how they've kind of grown with you.
Yeah.
Right? So like you're looking at the success of Jordan, who was like a boss. Like he was an owner of a team. Like he's visible. He's still alive. So it's like, damn, I'm still a part of that success, and Nike's is thriving off of that. Or if you think about like the Penny Hardaway, like now he's doing his thing. Deion Sanders, what he's doing in Boulder, Colorado.
Yeah, and his
like,
legacy.
Now
his
all
kids,
his sneakers are like coming back. So it's like a reintroduction to this new generation of kids who like, well, I wasn't part of this, but like I see Coach Prime, and it's the perfect time for him to drop his shoes. And I think he's dropped like three shoes since he's been.
I gotta check that out.
So.
I think we should, wrap that. I think that's a good segue to our last conversation, the last topic we want to talk about. Let's jump right into some predictions and futures, right? What's going to happen this year? I know we got enough time, right? I think we can kind of cap off today's gathering about predicting what we're going to see happen, not just this year, but maybe for the next couple of years. What are we thinking?
I think one of my predictions is with TikTok.
TikTok.
Yeah, I feel like
boogeyman.
I feel like the deal is going. even if it goes through, like if it comes to fruition.
Well, you can't download it right now.
Yeah.
So if you deleted it and try to go back and get it, it's not on the app stores.
Right. But I think that even if you're considering the president's and his influence, and from a government's perspective, and we're talking about data and like it might erode the brand a little bit.
You think so?
Because like right now the conversation is about the algorithm. Like that's
true.
the most important thing about TikTok is its algorithm.
Yeah.
Will China allow the what is it? ByteDance. Will they allow them to sell it?
I don't think so.
I've been to China, bro, and let me just tell you.
Light flex.
No. I'm just saying, like, yeah, like because of the type of work, like I'm at the consulate, and I'm like, yo, I work in advertising. They said, oh, you can only stay here for 3 months. Like that's how important like the influence is.
Oh, really?
Like I couldn't, like everyone else is going there for like 10 years. They can go back and forth. I could only stay for 3 months. So I don't even see China like letting them giving that to America. And it's like, what are the details that's tied to it?
I mean, who gives away power like that?
Right.
Nobody.
And even the ownership of it, is it going to be 50-50? Is it going to be 51% America, 49% China? Like these are all these details. But I think with the president getting involved, it's going to erode the brand. Like I feel like young people have been pivoting to another platform anyway. I think it's Red something. I don't know. But
it's all in Mandarin.
Red Note. Yeah. Red Note.
That's also owned by China too, right?
Right. Exactly. So,
which is interesting. Yeah.
So, I mean, I think, I've never downloaded the app, so I could really care less about TikTok. But
Same.
you know, it is a hot topic.
hot in the
People
streets.
people are trying to sell their phones for
2
like
for
a rack.
Yeah.
Yeah, to keep the app. So, like, I think the president will erode the brand.
Interesting.
Frank, what do you think? What's your prediction?
About TikTok?
No.
just
Just in
anything.
general.
Anything.
And
With all we've been seeing for the last couple of years and what we're now seeing for like these last couple of weeks, like what are you predicting when it comes down to anything? Culture, advertising?
From a culture standpoint, I think that their reading is going to be more of a luxury than anything else. I think that education is going to continue to, I'll use Rose's word, erode. I think fake news is gonna probably explode more than it has over the last couple of years. So, just being knowledgeable and leading with facts, and I mean, I think we're gonna have to probably come to a point where like people are to be like a leader. You're gonna almost have to like have like a real bibliography of information on you at all times, right? Where like you can almost like quickly say like, oh, this is true because of A, B, C, and D,
Right.
Because there's gonna be such a flood of nonsense over the next couple years, I think. So I think that facts and being able to prove facts is going to be, I think that might actually be an opportunity.
I just about to piggyback right off that.
Critical thinking.
I do think, to your point, Frank, where there's friction, where there's roadblocks, there's opportunities, right? I think you're going to see with this new, I guess, world we're living in terms of the malice mindset that is out there, it's going to be some people who's going to find ways to make this opportunity to build new industries, new businesses, new opportunities, right? New platforms. You know, Meta is not the only guy. They are the main ones, but, you know, maybe this is where we see a tipping point where social is on a decline and something that's going to replace it. I don't know, right? I can't really say that. I do agree with Frank saying about this idea of a bibliography, personal kind of bibliography. You're going to need that to kind of check things where it makes sense. I do think, I don't know. I do think the opportunities around new industries is definitely going to present itself. I've seen it multiple times. I've seen it, I guess, during the Y2K days or the .com. We've seen it obviously with, you know, the event of social, and now we're kind of seeing it again with like the consolidation of media, the proliferation of like AI, and just this rise of the streamers and just, you know, just misinformation. So I do think it's opportunities, man.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh, you could close that off.
Tony.
I
I think the robots.
The robots.
Nah,
Did we not start this
Nah,
pod journey talking about robots?
Nah, yeah, we did.
We did.
Nah, I'm joking. That's not my prediction. I was just bringing that up as a joke. But my real prediction is, I think convenience is going to be sold to us as a luxury. Like I think one of the things I've seen kind of bubble a little bit, things that were normally free, like choosing your seat on the airline, getting into a restaurant easily, getting a good
driving
table,
into Manhattan, congestion.
driving into Manhattan. I think things.
Access.
I think access and convenience will become a luxury that's sold to us, and only people who used to get it for free will remember that it was free. But the next group of people who are kind of conditioned and grow with it will just pay it. And I remember when Netflix didn't have a tier of when you had to pay for commercials, and now streaming, the convenience of not dealing with commercials costs a certain price.
Well, we know Frank ain't fucking with that.
Yeah,
and it's like it's going to be like $27, $28 for the and Breaking Bad. They're removing Breaking Bad from Netflix.
Oh man! All right, so we already know what we're talking about next episode. But
Are
yeah,
they?
Yeah, they
Why
are.
are they doing that?
Yeah, I guess the licensing. I'm not 100% sure why, but I know they're removing it from the platform. I know they've removed other shows though. So
yeah.
but I feel like that was one of the original shows that was on Netflix that
When it started streaming. Yeah.
True. That and before it went to Paramount, I think The Office was a big one that people would tell me, "Yo, it's on Netflix," blah blah blah, and then I think it was Paramount.
Well, Netflix is TV now, man. All that streaming.
Basically. But
Fights.
access and luxury. I mean, access and convenience will be a luxury that we will have to pay for. So get your money up.
Get your money up. I think we can close off like that.
Close up. I just really quickly, what do you all think about like these streaming services and how we're getting out of hand with them? Like you just print all these a la carte deals. Like we might as well go back to cable in some of these situations. No.
Tune in next time to hear our point of view on streaming and the a la carte business, and should we go back to cable?
Thanks for tuning in to the Ad Bros podcast. If you enjoyed the episode, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with your crew. Catch us next time for more insights and creativity right here on the Ad Bros podcast, powered by Kaffeine Media Network. See you soon.